And good morning. It is Tuesday as we begin this March the 4th. As we all know, at this point, we have severe weather lined up for tonight. We're going to go into that in detail in just a moment to get everybody up to date. Make sure you have a weather plan. We'll discuss all of that in just a second as we get this day underway. Then we'll get into some headlines if we have time. But we definitely want to warn everybody of what is approaching. We don't want you to be caught off guard by any means. We still have hours ahead of us before this arrives, and it could save a life. That's what this is all about, what we do every day. And that's about you and your family. That's what's important. We'll get into the forecast here in just a moment. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. Let's go out to the First Baptist Church.
When we face opposition in our lives, we can choose one of two ways: to let it defeat us or let it empower and embolden us. A great example of this is the story of Bethany Hamilton. At 13, Bethany was a rising surfing star when a shark attack in 2003 took her left arm. Despite this life-changing injury, she was back in the water just 1 month later, and she was determined to keep surfing. Through intense physical and mental challenges, she restrained her body to balance and paddle with one arm. Less than 2 years after the attack, she won a national surfing championship. Paul kind of had the same attitude when it came to the gospel. Notice what he says in 1 Thessalonians 2:2. This is what it says: "On the contrary, after we had previously suffered and were treated outrageously in Philippi, as you know, we were emboldened by our God to speak the gospel of God to you in spite of great opposition." The opposition they faced in trying to spread the good news of Christ's death and His resurrection didn't make them falter or go back. What it did is it drove them to be more and more emboldened to share it. If you look at a lot of patterns where Christianity has grown the most, and a lot of times it comes in countries where the opposition is the greatest. Places like the Middle East or China have seen strong growth despite being places where the gospel is not welcomed by their government or by a lot of the people. So let's boil it down to how it affects you and I in Mississippi in 2025, or wherever you're watching. If you have a strong witness for your faith, you'll experience pushback in some form or facet. But if you're being faithful, you'll also see God do amazing things through your gospel witness. Don't let fear turn you back from being a witness for Christ. Instead, let it propel you to even greater heights. Take the gospel to those who need it. No matter what, change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. If this is your first time watching, welcome. We're going to go over weather, what we expect today. As we begin this, we are at a level 3 out of 5. Puts it at pretty much a very, very serious severity level as we look at this. What we're being told is tornadoes are going to be likely, and we'll even see these, and we'll look at the radar here in just a second. As far south as the Pine Belt area, Hattiesburg area, we could see tornadic activity in those areas as well. As a matter of fact, let's go to radar now. We're already seeing tornadoes this morning, issued tornado warnings in Oklahoma. Here we are. This is where we are. We expect it to be 4 o'clock as it enters here. As it reaches Vicksburg, right here, it should be high noon. In between Vicksburg and the Jackson area, to about right along in here, is going to be 2 o'clock. Then the Meridian area by 4 p.m. Let's move in on this. This is going to be south of Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you're watching from west of here, Tulsa, those areas there, we have 2 tornado warnings that have been 3 that have been issued at this point. As we'll look here in this area right along in here, Clarksville, Oklahoma, this area here, Hanetta, Oklahoma, and then this area due south of there, and we'll call that Carlton Landing area. Some of those bigger towns there, Wilburton, Stingler, you'll see it there. There's Tulsa sitting right there. Lots of rain and all this. Here's Stillwater. I've been there many times. That's where Garth is from, all those guys. Stillwater, Oklahoma, a lot of bad weather there. This goes due south into Sherman, Texas, as we will follow this. Plano is just east of there now, approaching Tyler, Texas. Longview, it won't be long before it's there. And in Texas at this point, we only have severe thunderstorm warnings issued this morning. Nothing bigger than that so far. We're watching these closely. And this is the storms as you look back here to Austin as it makes its way toward Mississippi that will intensify and become severe weather later today. Now, as we look at this right now, you'll see here we have a wind advisory, and that's going to be through 6 p.m. tonight. As we go due south of the Biloxi area, it's enhanced as you'll see a high wind warning. Now, as we're being told, even this area around Laurel Hattiesburg should see tornadic activity. It's going to be south of 84. Right along in here is where all the tornado activity will begin through these areas. Now, let's flip to the severe weather map of what we're expecting today. As we turn this on, here it is. Let's back out and look at the bird's eye view from Sherman, Texas, across Hot Springs, Little Rock, down to Alexandria, Louisiana, taking in Baton Rouge and even Houma, over to Mobile and Pensacola, and then we'll cut back right across through here. Now let's look closer at some landmarks of where this will be coming through. As you'll see, York, Alabama, Demopolis, Alabama, right there at the river on the line of where this will be taking place. We see that Winston County, the majority of it, is also included in this, and then portions of Noxubee County as well, and the majority of Kemper County. Let's turn on those locations so we get a better bird's eye view of what's happening here. As this comes across, the University of West Alabama in Livingston is under a level 3, and it will go right up to where Kim Waste is, crossing Highway 17 back into Kemper County. This will cut right across Giles, Mississippi, just east of Scuba, about where Dozer Road is, go northwest toward Wahalak, then in through Sugarlock, and then cut across, taking in, this will be included, the Lake Forest Ranch there on Highway 14. This cuts across due north of Louisville, Highway 25, those areas there in the extreme northeastern corner of the county on Highway 25, then taking in Ackerman and going back toward Clarksdale into the Mississippi Delta on into Little Rock, Arkansas. That gives you a bird's eye view of what we're expecting. Now, if you're watching Jasper County, if you're in Clark County, Wayne County, Jones County, Forest, Newton, Neshoba County, Carthage, all these areas there, Leak, these areas will be included in this level 3 tornadic activity. As we see here now, let's pull this up. I want to go back to this and show you the areas of what the National Weather Service is calling with these different areas and the timing of that. And here it is as we look at this. And then we'll look at the statewide. I think I've got that also pulled up. Right here, anywhere from Bastrop, Louisiana, over to Vicksburg. This is going to be noon until 4 p.m. And again, the worst of this on the west side of this beginning at noon and going across. Once you go east of Vicksburg, from there to about Brandon, you're going to have weather from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then from Brandon due east to the Alabama state line, taking in Meridian, Philadelphia, Newton, this is the time that we're going to be seeing this 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. being some bad weather. Now, what I really expect of everything that is looking, and it depends upon how the weather floats along. Is it going to be severe, the wind, how it affects everything? We're expecting the 7 p.m. hour starting to be the worst through about 9 p.m. and exiting the state around 9. But that's 7 through 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. being the worst of what we're expecting right now. Now, again, all of that can change due to whatever becomes with the weather. It is very affected by wind, and we'll watch this closely for our timelines today, but that's what we're expecting now. And again, let's look at this as we pull this radar back up. Do you see your home here? Where do you live in Mississippi? Where do you live in Alabama? Are you back over in Louisiana or Arkansas? If you live in anywhere in the shaded area, be on high alert. Now, I want to be very blunt about this, just because this is a 3 and this is a 2 here north of this into Starkville, West Point. Doesn't mean that you cannot get a tornado. It's just telling us that it's more likely that it'll happen here. I have seen it as you'll look out here due east here, where you're in Macon, Georgia here with this level 1. We have seen tornadoes hit there as well. All of these levels are very dangerous, and it can happen within a split second. What we're telling you at this point, this is the most likely area. Doesn't mean that it can't happen here, but more likely here. We'll watch this. We'll follow this street by street as all of this weather begins to develop again, beginning around high noon in the state of Mississippi, moving eastwardly every 2 hours, getting closer to the East Mississippi side there, beginning Scott County along in there east of Brandon over this way. Now, schools are going to be letting out. We're going to go over that list in just a little bit. MCC has been added to that list. We have not gotten any word on East Central, and I have not gotten any word from East Mississippi, which is the Scuba campus. We haven't gotten any word from either one of those two. We'll go over at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock of the ones that we do know that are going to be affected by this. Weather is a very important thing. We want you to be safe, and more safe. Now, as Odie, I asked him just a moment ago, we talked about this yesterday with some of these tornado warnings or sirens are not working in Lauderdale County. And it could be for your area that it's not working also. Nixle is a great way to get it directly sent to your phone when a warning is sent out. And that number is 888-777. Text that and then put in your zip code of 39301 for Lauderdale County, and it will text you when a warning is issued for Lauderdale County. That's in the immediate Lauderdale County area. Again, that number, 888-777. Text that, and then it will ask you, and you put in the 39301 area code.
That's your
code right there. Message. 39301. Type that in. 888-777, and then 39301. Hit send. It will then have you signed up, and Kemper County does it too, if I am not mistaken. And I would assume you put in the DeKalb code, and so use that zip code there. But Lauderdale County 39301, and then you're signed up, and it gives you anywhere in the county that there's a warning issued. Let's do that one more time. 888-777 is your text number, and then type in 39301, hit send, and it will have you automatically signed up. Same for Kemper County. I'm not sure about Newton County if they do it. It's a possibility that they also use Nixle. Not 100% sure on that. But this will give you those alerts quickly. Again, if you live in a home, you have a tree that is near your home that could fall on it, stay away from this. We're going to have extremely high winds tonight. This afternoon, they will snap, they will land on your home. As a matter of fact, the last death we had in the state of Mississippi due to weather was a tree that fell on a home and killed a young man. We don't want you to be a statistics. Stay away from those rooms that a tree could hit. Go to a neighbor's house, go to a family member's house, anything you have to do. And when we say have a weather plan, when you get that warning, that means you have to go to wherever that safe place is. Whether it's just down the road, or if you've got a tornado shelter, if you've got a basement, the lowest level of your home away from windows. That's what we need to do. Now, we're going to be right back, and we'll go over our regular forecast here in just a second as we get this. Let's see. Terry said she put in Philadelphia zip, and she gets warnings from Kemper County. Neshoba County may not have it, and that may be why you're getting that. I'm not 100% sure on that. Lita Horn put it in there. 888-777-39301. That's how you do that. We'll be right back as we get this day underway, and we'll give you the complete forecast of what to expect. But severe weather is lined up. And the thing right now, we're all safe. That's what's important. We want to keep it that way. The more we prepare, the safer we are. More coming up in a second.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community, Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Let's get into the forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record highs and lows set on this date back in 22. Believe it or not, that was 3 years ago. That ought to make you feel old. A record high of 84. Back in 1943, the year of the steel penny, A low of 18 set on this day back in 43. Now, as we look at for the high today, 77 is what we're expecting there. And as you'll look at this, they're showing this severe weather. Look at Newton County down through here, Jasper County. They're showing it heavy in these areas here. Now, this does include Lauderdale County, but we're showing that the rain at this point, and this may be updated in a minute or two by the National Weather Service, showing that rain just a little bit worse to the west. We'll follow up, make sure the National Weather Service has got all of that updated. As we look at this, we'll see that Alabama has 78 projected for the Demopolis area up through Tuscaloosa, about 76, even down to 74 around Birmingham, Alabama. We've got severe weather in these areas, and it's going to be a wet day. As we look here, this is what we looked at a moment ago. Again, noon to 4, west of Vicksburg. From Vicksburg to Jackson to that Scott County line, we're looking at it to about 2 to 6 p.m. And then from anywhere from Scott County to the Bama state line, we're looking at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at exiting the state around 9 p.m. is what we're thinking. As we look at this, high winds, and we talked about the trees. Do not underestimate this. During storms, we're expecting this to reach high wind gusts of about 70 miles an hour. We could say sustained winds of 25 to 35, and then just for the regular rain shower, those gusts of 40 to 50. But when those severe thunderstorms roll in, it will up even higher to up to 70. It will snap trees. It will uproot those old oak trees that don't have those roots that go down in the ground forever. If that is sitting next to your home, beware. We watch this wind from 9 a.m. through at least 6 p.m. tonight. That may get extended. We'll watch that also as this day progresses. As we look at the great state of Alabama, we see that they're under a level 2 for the most part. This has been updated to where it takes in this Demopolis line to a level 3. They had not updated that when I put this in at 3:30 this morning. As we look at this 6-day, 10-day outlook, we'll see that we're a little more than average right now. Normal east of there around Mobile and back into the lower portion there of Georgia. Now, our 7-day outlook calls for 77 today. Thunderstorms, that's bumped up to an 80% chance for thunderstorm activity today. Our night's low should hit somewhere around 50. But look at the difference in between this and tomorrow night. As this storm passes, we're going to get only a high of 61 tomorrow. That's a major difference than today. Down tomorrow again to get you sick, 35. Thursday, we're at 60, and then we get toward the weekend a little bit warmer, but we see rain possibilities on Saturday with a 40% chance there. Then back to the 60s, and then again another turn as we're into March and start seeing these temperatures warm back up. 63 on Sunday as you head to church, 71 on Monday, and look at this, 82 by the 14th. Is that not drastic from a night coming up tomorrow night at 35? Looks like we'll have overnight lows in the upper 40s to 50s once we get to this mid-70 degree weather stuff. 77, 80, that's perfect. We don't want to go any higher than that, do we? The sad news is in June I'll be telling you a different story, won't I? So warm weather lies ahead for us, but over the next 2 weeks we're going to see the 60s this week after the storm passes, then bumping into the upper 70s for next week. That's what we've got lined out for you there. Now, fishing. If you're brave enough to do this early, I suggest doing it early before the storms arrive. 3:15 to 5:15 may not be the perfect time to be out there, but the fish should be biting. Again, storms are coming. Keep that in mind as we see these gusts as high as 45 miles an hour. Be careful. Sunrise hit at 6:18 this morning. Sunset will hit this afternoon around 5:55 is what we're looking at with all of this. Now, again, as we get into the morning show, we're going to break down and tell you more about all the different areas that are going to be closing early today. We'll have that. If you've got a closing, make sure to inbox us. Let us know about what's going on, or email us at Scotty Ray 1969 at AOL so we can pass this information along to everyone else. We've just added Philadelphia Public Schools to the list. That's on there. Everyone that we've gotten an answer to so far. Now, I haven't heard from Lamar, Lamar School, if you've got any changes to yours, please let us know. At this point, I've got y'all at regular time, no early dismissal. That could have changed, and I'm just not aware of it, but we want to be on top of this to inform everybody. I know we've got some parents that watch, that go there. If you've been told something, please let us know so we can pass that along to others as well. Now, again, let's look at this big picture here. This is what we've got coming. That's the level 3 area. And again, this is that Bama side as we got into this. York, Alabama, Butler, all y'all are included. Thomasville, Jackson, Miller, Chatham, Alabama, all the way down to Saraland over to Milton, Evergreen. These areas are a level 2 now as this got updated from the National Weather Service as we follow these storms. Green is a 1, yellow is a 2, and whatever you want to call this misplaced color that I don't know what it is a level 3. I really don't know what to call that. Fuchsia? That's Odie's word for it. It ain't pink, but I don't know what it is. But that's what we've got out there. How's everyone feeling? So glad to have you there. Newton County School will release an hour early, Robin says. Thank you for giving us that there. We'll add that. And you're right, Elizabeth, as we move into this weekend, y'all be ready for this new time change. We're going to spring forward. No word yet if we're getting an executive order to cure all of that, but we will have it at least through November. Forrest Gump fishing, Bob said. You're right. He did survive that big shrimp storm, didn't he? Let's see what else we got. Looks kind of orangish. It does have an orange flavor to that as we look at that, depending upon what color scheme each system uses there. Now, again, we've got a bunch of headlines that we're not going to go over this morning as we prepare for the morning show. We'll try to incorporate all of that the best we can this morning as this goes across. Let's see here. I did want to mention this. Headlines coming out of New Orleans are going to be changing Mardi Gras. They're canceling some of this due to the extreme winds as it comes across Louisiana. Check your schedule if you're going to. And I was asking Odie as we talk about the preserve here in Meridian that we're going to have a Mardi Gras parade this afternoon for the residents that was going to circle the building, and now they're going to move that inside this afternoon beginning at 4. I was supposed to be there, but with the bad weather, it might be better if I'm here. So if you're going to that, just keep weather in mind as you go to these events that are around the area. And I would think most likely and I hadn't gotten all of this, most of our sporting events that were going to occur tonight have most likely been canceled across the state of Mississippi. Check before you go. That's what I'm hinting at. Make sure to do that. If you have an appointment late, check with your doctors. Make sure that they're not leaving early. We have not gotten any businesses at this point that said, hey, we're going to let our staff go home early. I hadn't gotten any of that. If you decide to do that, also inbox us. Let us know about that so we can get that word out to everyone so they'll know what to do. Kids will be getting off the buses early. If you work, grandparents, a lot of times get the chore of it's your turn to go pick up the kids. Everybody pitch in and help and then tell them where to go pick up. Sometimes it's confusing. I'm going to tell you something. I went to Neshoba Central yesterday, and I told Odie I had no idea that school was that big until I ended up in 3 offices trying to find the right one. It's humongous, y'all. It's a line for everything. But a big thank you to them for allowing me to come up yesterday. We'll tell you about that also. We'll see you in just about 3 minutes from now as we'll go live to bring you the morning show here out of Lauderdale County as we'll tell you what's happening in our area and across the nation as we prepare for severe weather. We'll be back shortly live here with the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.